the pitch is Luke towards shortstop. Petroselli's back. He's got it. The Red Sox win. And it's pandemonium on the field.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli.
Welcome, Rico. How you doing, Rico? Everything good?
Very good, Tom. Thank you very much. I learned a lot just recently here about technology. I tell you, I might become an expert at this.
Oh, seriously? You're there. You're already there. You are already there.
Did you learn anything, though, Rico?
What's that?
Did you really learn anything?
Yeah, well, ITT, we got one of the greatest schools here in Massachusetts.
Do you know what ITT stands for?
It.
Okay.
It.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, my two co-hosts, Rico Petroselli, Red Sox Hall of Famer Lou Blasky. Lou, you're welcome to stay on camera. It's all about you today. If you want, feel free to stay with us. Our good friend, Executive Vice President of Heritage Auctions, Joe Orlando's in the house with us, and our other good friend from Sterling Sports Auctions, Lee Behrens. By the way, you guys, you can listen to us on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, any one of your favorite platforms. We are now all over the place. So it's been good. Hey, Rick, just a quick question before we get started, man.
Well, certainly.
I heard there was a shootout at the OK Corral. What happened?
Oh, yeah. It was very sad. We live in a condo that is right next to a golf course, and they had I think it was a wedding, and somebody came in and started shooting, and he killed one gentleman.
It's been all over the news.
I know it. It's nationwide, and it was very sad, and all kinds of reports came out. There were two shooters, and
I know
they were still in the area.
It was on CNN. That's what I had heard, and then on Fox. But your townhouse is on the other side of the course, right?
Yeah, well, it's downhill, like it's a little like me. No, and it's only, I want to say not even a half a mile up the hill. And
Really?
we didn't hear any shots or anything. Of course, it was inside.
Yeah.
A couple of other people got hurt, and they thankfully got the guy. And because I was out on my porch, I was on the computer, fixing my computer, and so I said, "Geez, these two guys, maybe they're in the area." So I made sure I had my 300 Magnum and my 9mm ready. No,
just in case.
But it was very sad. And the reports are coming out. The guy.
Yeah, I heard about it.
It's crazy. I mean,
the world has gone nuts.
I mean, come on.
All right, listen, Lee, you have an auction that's in process right now, correct?
Correct.
Look, I tell you, I noticed, man, you've got a ton of T206s. Tell us about them.
Yeah, I had a gentleman sign a set to me about 3 months ago, and we decided to break it up over 4 auctions. It was part graded, part ungraded. So if you collect either way, there's some of everything in there. It wasn't high grade or anything, but basically VGX are down, but everything is pretty presentable.
How many cards, Lee?
Total?
No, how many T206s approximately?
Oh, in this auction, I'm not totally sure, but there's got to be close to 100 or 100 plus.
Lee, I had a question. What approximate age they're consigning these to you, right?
Yep.
People, right? So, what age group do they usually come to with the vintage?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I bet you over half of the consigners I have, I've never seen them. Do you have correspondence through email or phone?
Yeah.
But there's a generation now that basically is 30 to 50 that has been putting these sets together and stuff.
Yeah, great.
Oh, that's a good sign then.
great.
So
That's very good.
so the demographic for vintage seems to be getting a little lower. That's good, right?
Yeah, over COVID, it really picked up. A lot of it was with those Facebook groups. That I think that helped to push it and get the younger generation into it. Whereas you still get the old time collectors that are just they're piecing out what they have. I haven't been able to get one that just dumped the whole
Sure.
collection on me, but I have consigners that give me about 15 cards at auction that are really good.
Now, Joe, obviously you're on the other side of the fence, much bigger company. For consignments for vintage cards, are you guys seeing anything there, demographically?
Well, I think there's a couple of things going on, and I think Lee alluded to one of them. So you kind of have these two generational cycles, I think, going on. You have the baby boomers who were really active in the 1980s, 70s, 80s, into the 90s. They're starting to get a little bit older, and some of those collections are starting to come out now. We're seeing that more frequently in the last couple of years. But then there's that next, it's kind of my Generation X sort of generation where I grew up as a kid during that time in the 70s and 80s. And we are, I guess our collections have been gradually built over that time. Some people are still active, some people are selling, but there's kind of a couple of groups that are driving that. But I do think that there is a real cycle that we're in where in the next 5 years plus, 5 to 10 years, I think we're going to see some pretty substantial collections come out, stuff that's been buried for a really long time. And as a collector myself, and I know we have other collectors here on the call, it's like those are when you see the fresh material that's been buried for a while, and it's not the retreads, it's fresh to the market. Those are sort of the most exciting opportunities.
Their kids, the boomers, their kids inherit, or they give it to the kids when they're older, right?
Yeah, that's it. You're making a point, Rico, because I'm not sure. And I was talking to Tom Ruggi about this. Are many of the boomers handing their collections down? I'm going to ask Lee and Joe. Lee, you first. I mean, do you see that? Because, listen, I'm going to use my kids as an example. They're not really interested in my collection. So, I'm going to liquidate it at some point.
Well, give it to me.
I'll swap with you.
All right. Go ahead,
I'm
Lee.
hearing a lot from consigners that their kids aren't interested. I mean, I know they got vast collections and they're just not interested. So then they start peeling it out. The one that was really sad that I had was I had the grandson of Doc Atkins, which had a T206, and he was trying to collect every card of his. And I think he finally did get it. But he would consign some stuff to me every once in a while, and I talked to him quite a bit. Well, he called me one day. He said he's going to send me some consignments, and he sounded terrible. I mean, it was bad, and I'm like, geez, he's not too healthy. Well, I never got the consignment. And I found out he passed away, and I don't know if he lasted much more than a day or two after I talked to him. But it ended up being his stepson. Follow my name or whatever, and I was talking to him, and he basically said that none of his kids wanted the stuff from his great grandfather, and that he took it as a stepson. And I never heard hide nor hair where that collection went or anything.
Interesting.
Wow.
You also have a 65 near set. How many cards are missing out of that set, that top set, Lee?
The ones that aren't in that set are graded cards that are in individually. So the complete set is in the auction. But the cards, when I get a set like that, especially the stuff that doesn't make sense, because he had anywhere from the mantle in a 2 to an Aaron in a 7. And it's kind of, when I have the opportunity to break it up like that, it just makes more sense than
it does. I agree with you. There was one set. There was a series that had piqued my interest. That, quite frankly, I've never heard of. Joe, you probably know it. What is this Scudder? Is it called Scudder something?
I think it's Shutter Johnson.
Shutter.
Yeah, that was a big consignment. It was kind of interesting that at the Nationals, I had some raw ones in the previous auction, and the guy I was sharing a table with, he had somebody come over and ask for them things, but he didn't let me know until he was gone. And he said, that's Shooter Johnson. Well,
Shooter just, that's it.
yeah, the next guy that walks up has got a consignment with 7 or 8 of these, and here's the Gary.
So what are they? The 30s, 20s? What are they? What year?
Yeah. So there is a nice selection, and they're all very presentable of these Shooter Johnsons. Obviously, it's kind of a different collector's got it. It's pretty specific, and they're really kind of almost educational cards in some of them.
Shooter Johnson. I'll have to remember that. What else are you highlighting?
Well, we got the 3 Cobbs P206 that are one. The red's got a polar bear back. Always got a whack. This is kind of neat. It's a notebook cover of Babe Ruth in his Boston years. Rico might have met him then.
Yeah.
1957 salesman sample. That's really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
That's
It's got
nice.
the back with Don Drysdale, the back of Don Drysdale's card on it, so that's a rookie.
What's that?
SGC 8 of Orange Spawn.
Nice.
The T206 is like Tom said, we have quite a few. We got a good selection of Hall of Famers and then off-backs with Carolina Brights and Broadleaf. So those collectors, they always have a nice array of that. I also got the last part of the Type 2 coupon set. I had a guy consign like 150 of them to me. So the last part of that is in this set. And then a Ted Williams complete set with the tough card in there. So
Very
that's
nice.
a lot of active.
When does the auction end?
Thursday, September 25th. You need to get your initial bid in by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I just want to remind everybody that I do not have to charge sales tax in any state but Minnesota.
Very cool. Very cool.
Nice.
You've had a good year. You've had a good year, Lee, and I hope you continue. Lee, are you going to be in Philadelphia at the Philly show in December?
Well, I got to see if it falls into it, my time frame that works. I mean, I sadly missed this one last weekend that it actually would have worked out well on my wife.
Yeah.
Actually took the weekend off.
Rico and I, we're going to be broadcasting from there in December. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I want to get back out there. I've done that show 3 times.
Good show, yeah.
Very good. All right, Lee.
Like that show.
Good luck the rest of
Hey
the way.
there. Great, Lee.
Thank
Take care. We'll see you. See you soon.
Be good, Lee.
Thank you.
All right.
Lee Behrens from Sterling Sports.
I got a
Auction.
question. May I have a question?
For who? For me?
Not, yeah, right. For Joe. What's his name with the Dodgers? He's retiring.
Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a run? Going to be a run, Joe? In your experience on this card now, all his cards, now that he's announced it ahead of time.
I think what has been maybe more, I think people were anticipating it. Obviously, I live out here in Southern California, and I think the expectation was that he was going to retire. So it wasn't a big surprise locally.
Yeah.
I think what has been maybe more impactful is that he's having a really good year. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, and a lot of pitchers, you know, as they get older, they become a shell of themselves. Not in the case, or not in the case of Kershaw. So now that he's had an excellent regular season, he reached the 3,000 strikeout milestone. You know, they're going to the postseason. Who knows what can happen there? I think the fact that he's going out on a high note has, I think, maybe a little bit more impactful than the retirement itself, because it was somewhat expected here locally.
Interesting. Joe, I posed this question over the last 3 weeks, and I'm glad you're here because Heritage Auctions, you guys were the ones that handled the $12 million card. So when I sent you some of the bullets, I know I didn't think you understood my question. So I'm going to pose it a different way. So Lou and I, we have how much, Lou? How much do we have a piece? $100,000?
Sure, yeah, I can give you 100.
Lou and I have 100. We have $100,000 a piece, maybe even a little more. So I get myself a cut Babe Ruth signature Lou gets himself a cut Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig, maybe even a Joe Jackson's signature.
I could get one from Rico.
Yeah, we'll go to.
No, I just signed Babe Ruth balls.
That's right. So, and then we get maybe a little piece of a Ruth shirt, jockstrap, I don't know. And Lou gets a piece of a Cobb shirt, right? And then we approach someone like Topps and we say, hey, listen, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a couple $100,000, maybe $400,000 to make this into a card, 1 of 1. I'm starting to see that. And this, when I sent you the bullets, this Hank Aaron, Ken Griffey Jr. 2020 Topps Sterling dual game bat patch auto, 1 of 1, is coming out. My question to you, Joe, is a precedence being started? Is the next card going to go for $14 million? That's designed like that, a 1 of 1?
I think it's a lot more complicated than that. So first of all, this concept has been around now for, I hate to age us all, but it's been around for 30 plus years. This idea of autographed cards, piece of jersey, piece of bat, it started in the 1990s. So it's been around for a while, but I think when you're trying to break it down and maybe people that are more vintage collectors are trying to figure out, well, what was it about this card that made it go for so much?
Right.
A big part of it is the fact that this particular line of cards, the Exquisite Collection dual logo mans, they are arguably the most popular of all of these variations of cards that have autographs and piece of jersey, piece of bat, stuff like that. The dual logo mans in basketball, the Exquisite Collection cards, are arguably, and I would say probably quite clearly, the most popular. So branding is a big part of it. So it's not like you can just take any line of cards, any series of cards, say, well, it's got an autograph, it's got a jersey, but it's not this line of cards. So that's number one. The other thing, too, is that I think there's some nuance in the modern collectibles field where a lot of these guys, a lot of the collectors, they really prefer the on-card autos versus the cut pieces. So what made this card really special is that inside of the dual logo man series, it was the only one that both Jordan and Kobe placed an autograph on the card. It's not a cut.
Right.
It's on the card, and it had the dual logos. It's a 1 of 1 in that respect, as well as being a 1 of 1 for the series. So it's a layered, sort of complicated formula, but it's not as simplistic as just taking autographs and
slapping them together.
So it's because it was part of this particular series that made it really desirable.
But we'll just talk a trend, because we know Tom, for example, Tom Brady will do anything for a buck. So he's going to sign a card and give something over. You could get Shohei Ohtani pretty quickly. Wayne Gretzky's still around. You could start manufacturing these cards with autographs on the cards, similar, same brand, same type of stature. Is this because someone said, well, 12 million, 13 million, let's do some more? You're going to see those?
Oh, I don't think there's any question. I think this trend has been building for a while. So this price obviously blew everyone away, including us at Heritage. But this trend has been building. So these are the cards that everybody's chasing. It's all these kinds of cards in the ultra modern world that are the premium beachfront property cards. So I don't think that it's going to stop. Yeah, this just raises more awareness about it when, again, we didn't think it was going to set the all-time record. We thought it would set the modern card record, but it set the all-time.
Blew it away. It was unbelievable. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. We're running behind time because of Rico, trying to get him set up. I'm just kidding.
Oh, sure you are. Right. Okay.
We're going to come back. Joe's going to be with us for the rest of the show, but we're going to come back with the GAX AI Sweet 16 all-time tournament game. We are in the last game of the Elite 8. And this one here was kind of cool. So hang in there. We will be right back.
Kidding me?
Stop it.
We'll be right back.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a 2-time child cancer survivor member, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petroselli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and where's Rico?
Finally caught him.
God Almighty!
I've been hoping
to catch up. Now let's think about this. You think he's in the restroom?
Maybe.
Look, Joe, what do you think?
I hear voices. I don't.
You think maybe he could be making a sandwich?
Make sure his gun is loaded, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well, in any event, it's time for the GAX AI Sweet 16 NBA All-Time Tournament, powered by Danny Shapiro and Basketball Savant, and sponsored by our pal, Paul Borges at PB Collectibles. And remember, if you have a bitch about this segment, don't call me. Call either Danny or Paul. All right. This week, this is the last round of the Elite Eight. And this was a good one. This was the 1966-67 Lakers against the, Philadelphia 76ers. The 66-67 76ers against the 71-72 Lakers. Now, what's interesting about this is that Wilt Chamberlain played against Wilt Chamberlain. And let's see how this all transpired.
There's a matchup for you.
Right. So 67 Sixers, they had a 68-13 record. 71-72 Lakers had a 69-13 record. Superstars on for the Sixers, Wilt Chamberlain at 30 years old. Wilt was dominant in every facet of the game. Under coach Alex Hannum, he accepted a lesser scoring role to focus on defense, rebounding, and playmaking. This was the season he finally defeated Bill Russell's Celtics. Backcourt, strong but not legendary backcourt featuring Hal Greer, who averaged 22 a game, and the solid point guard, wonderful Wally Jones. Then, of course, we had a complete supporting cast: Chet Walker, Billy Cunningham, Alex Hannum, Luke Jackson, who provided physical play and rebounding. And they had Alex, he was actually a pretty good coach, Alex Hannum as coach. Now, the 71-72 Lakers, they had an aging Wilt Chamberlain. By the 71-72 season, he was 35 years old. He was still elite defensively and on the boards, but was a different, less explosive player than his earlier self. The backcourt, a legendary backcourt duo of Hall of Famers Jerry West and Gail Goodrich. Keep in mind that Elgin Baylor was on this team, but he had only played 9 games and then retired. A deep championship caliber cast included Jim McMillan, Happy Hairston, and a few others. And of course, Bill Sharman, the former Celtics, was the coach. So the verdict. Rico, nice to see you, buddy.
I thought you were still advertising it.
Yeah. Okay. The front court, the 66, 67, 76ers with a prime Wilt Chamberlain surrounded by an elite cast is arguably the biggest advantage in the series. The backcourt, the 71-72 Lakers featuring Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, is the best unit on the floor. Overall depth, the 76ers superior all around with talent and depth. So ultimately, the matchup hinged on what version of Wilt Chamberlain was more impactful. And obviously, the 66-67 version was more impactful. Final score, 66-67, 76ers 98, and the 71-72 Lakers 90. So now we have the final four right there. It's going to be really interesting. We have some good matchups next week and the week after, followed by the championship. Any thoughts on that, Joe? You're a basketball guy, right?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I didn't get a chance to see him play live or when I was alive, but I would say this, that I think when Wilt, when he was older and he was with the Lakers, I don't know if it was so much that he was older that he was less of an offensive juggernaut, or if it was just that he didn't need to be that guy anymore. So I don't know. That's an interesting outcome there. I'm not so sure I would take the Sixers.
You know what? I mean, I
remember him.
The Chamberlain. I'm not sure about the Chamberlain impact because if you compare, I mean, Hal Greer was a great player and Wally Jones was a great player, but Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, they were at their peak that year. So I think the guard position may have been the difference. Luke?
I don't know. I was watching Rico play in 66 and 67.
Oh, I remember Wilt. Well, I mean, I followed the Celtics in basketball seriously close.
He was a hell of a player.
I can't get past this. The 86 Celtics are not in this tournament anymore, and the 66, 76
Luke, the 86 Celtics got knocked off last week, Joe, and Lou's been in mourning ever since.
No. I mean, Wilt could have done anything offensively on the court. I mean, he was getting older. There's no doubt about it. But he was probably very tired. What?
I got it.
Saying a word.
Well, what happened? What did he say? What did one of his?
What do you mean?
What they say about him?
I know
right?
what you're alluding to.
Yeah, well, I
didn't pick up on that.
Listen, it was part of life. It came out. It came out in the public.
I didn't.
What he did, and it wasn't very good. But when you go that many, I mean, you gotta be tired.
Well, let's
attack you. It is.
Well, let's break that down. Let's break that down.
Wait a minute.
If we can break that down just briefly, so that would be 3 per day times 365. I'm pretty close to that. Correct? Am I wrong with my math?
They said 20,000. That's what they said.
No, I'm saying in a year though. I'm thinking 1,000 in a year.
Yeah, well, the guy is,
Is the math, Lou, is the math pretty close there?
The math's pretty close, which makes it somewhat unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
Not that he couldn't have.
No, but it's.
I don't know if anyone would want to.
Joe? Joe,
I am not touching this with a 10-foot pole.
No, this is.
I enjoy being employed by Heritage Auctions. I'm just
and what's his name? You know how I am, Tom. But this came out in the papers.
We know that.
Made a big deal. So I don't want to. Let's leave it alone.
Joe, you came out with an article that I read that I thought was very, very good. How modern and vintage, how the markets have really helped each other. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Sure. So, in the aftermath of this, big $12.9 million sale, and I've seen this before. It's not a new act in our hobby, but it's really interesting. You get a lot of wows and interest from people outside the hobby, but occasionally what you'll get is a very strange reaction from some of the veteran vintage collectors that are like, "Oh, I can't believe it," and they get very negative sort of about it. It's almost like they're a little threatened by success in an area that they don't like or desire, or collect. And so
I think they think that their part of that hobby is going to diminish in value.
Yeah, and I actually feel the exact opposite. And there's many reasons for it. We probably don't have enough time today, but I'll try to go through them. I mean, first of all, it's like anytime an ultra modern collectible or an athlete that's playing today does something great, what do? Every time Ohtani does something, we talk about Babe Ruth. Every time Mahomes does something, we talk about Brady. And when Brady was playing, we talk about Montana before him. Ovechkin breaks the all-time goals scored record. We talk about Gretzky constantly. It's a reminder of the past. It brings these athletes back to life. So that's sort of number one. Number two is like, and we've talked about this on the show before. I mean, modern is where most people get introduced to the hobby. So the more activity, the more energy that we have in the modern market, the more likely it is that some percentage of those collectors are going to fall in love with vintage ultimately. That is a natural evolution of a collector. Not all, but a percentage of them. Also, it presents opportunities. So when there's one segment of the market that's really taking off, and let's say it's modern, well, then you might look at vintage and say, well, wait a minute, if these cards are going for X, maybe there are some opportunities in vintage right now that I'm overlooking. It's the same thing by category. If tickets are really hot or type 1 photos or unopened, not everything can be equally as hot at the same time, but it's our nature. It's a human nature thing. And again, we've talked about this on your show before, but what happens when the price of gold goes up? Everybody wants to buy. What happens when it goes down? Nobody wants to buy, when it should be probably the exact opposite. Right. But it's our nature to react that way. And so you see that so what I would say is, when you see something like the ultra modern market taking off in the way that it's taking off, view that as an opportunity. Look for, pockets of opportunity where maybe at the moment something really great is being overlooked instead of maybe reacting to it in almost like it's a threat to whatever you like. So it's a weird. I've watched this cycle happen a few times before, but yeah, I think they kind of work in tandem. Vintage and modern are not competing with each other. They both kind of help raise the awareness of the entire hobby.
Well, Joe, and you know who started that, don't you?
Started what?
You started that with the vintage, and I brought up the more modern cards, and you said no way, they're not going to do anything. It's the vintage, and I said, I want to help the future of the industry.
At the beginning, I still am.
I don't mean that in a bad way, Tom.
No, I'm still a vintage guy.
I was thinking.
Listen, I was my concern, and Joe knows this. We've talked about it a zillion times. I was more concerned at the beginning, and it has tempered a little bit. I was more concerned with the card flippers entering the hobby that had absolutely no care or love for the hobby. I think at the beginning there was a lot of that, and now I honestly believe that has definitely tapered down, and the dynamic is changing. That's
no. Well, what I meant by that, because I was thinking modern in the sense of that, you want to keep it going. You want the younger people, even though they're buying, right away. But I mean, at least they get into the hobby. So
I agree, Louis.
But the vintage is the top stuff. I mean, let's face it.
One of the things I felt more compelled by in your article was, and it was part of the theme of A Rising Tide Lifts All Boats, was the tracking the price of the mantle card throughout some of these examples, because it just showed how the hobby has grown. And what this has done for me is it's finally flipped me, because I used to look at the hobby as my first tour on this show and doing it with doing several other shows. My thought on investing was, this isn't an investment. This is a hobby. If you want to be a hobby and you want to invest and you can make a few bucks, that's fine, but it's not an investment. But the influx of investors has made it an investment. It's an investment. It's an investment market now, and that's helping collectors of all stripes.
Well, something, and I agree with you, Joe, chime in here. I play the stock market, and the companies that I invest in, I pay attention to. I won't invest, again, this is just me, I won't invest any money in a company that doesn't intrigue me or excite me. And I think at the beginning that's what was happening, but now I think it is a little better. Joe?
Well, I mean, I think when you're looking at, as Lou was pointing out, you look at the track record, and I think in the article I was referring to where the 52 Mantle and the Honus Wagner cards were about 25, 30 years ago. We've seen the movie before. So some people react to what's happening now and they think, oh, well, this has never happened before. It's not true. If you go back 25 years ago, and I'll probably have to refresh some memories, there were a couple of Tiger Woods cards that had sold for more than a 52 Mantle and a PSA 8, believe it or not, which was only worth about $35,000 at the time. A Honus Wagner and a 1 was worth about $50,000. There was a Tiger Woods card that sold for $125,000.
I wasn't aware of that.
And that was modern. That was
modern. And so we've seen, it's just that what's happened. And then you go back 10 or 15 years before that, and I referred in the article, there were, again, different time, Don Mattingly 84 Donruss rookies, 86 Donruss Jose Canseco rookies that were selling for more than Mays, Clemente, Aaron high-grade cards from the 60s. I'm not making this up. Wow. It's just what's happened is the stakes have gotten so much higher. So we're talking about, tens of dollars, hundreds of dollars in the 80s. Then we get into the, 25 years ago, we're talking about tens of thousands. Now we're talking about millions. So it's just, The stakes are getting much higher, so we notice it more. But this cycle has happened before. It's happened, at least in my lifetime, twice. So we just have to be cognizant of that and just realize that, like, yeah, there's going to be this ebb and flow between some of the current products and the current athletes and vintage. You know that as a collector, I'm more of I do collect some modern memorabilia, but I'm more of a vintage guy myself. That's what I like.
Right.
And I think that blue chip vintage is as beachfront property as you can get. But that's okay if somebody else, something else resonates with another collector. And if 2000, cards that are manufactured in the 2000s with on-card autos and pieces of jerseys, if that resonates with another collector, that's great. That's I don't look at that as like, well, gee, that's somehow a threat to what I collect. And there's something for everybody. That's what makes the hobby so great.
Does modern get enough attention? I'm just saying that because let's face it, not many people can afford the vintage, the real, expensive cards.
Rico,
right?
not many people can afford modern today.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
No, I that's what I'm asking. What's going on with it?
You know what? I would say this, Rico. I think the way I would answer that question is if you go back in time, there was more of a hard line between vintage and modern. It's just, only so many modern things, modern, whether it's a card or a jersey, a bat, whatever it was, only so many modern collectibles could possibly challenge a quote unquote vintage collectical. Now those lines are gone. Like if it's a great, if it's an unbelievable Shohei Ohtani bat, that bat can sell for more than Hank Aaron. Wow. It's just the way it is. Like, so it's all supply and demand. Again, there's those hard lines have disappeared.
All right, listen, we're going to be taking a break in a minute, but before we take a break, Rico, why don't you tell our friends about our good friend down in West Palm Beach, Florida?
Oh boy,
Charlie Perino and the staff at JRI Cards.
I can't wait to see Charlie and his staff. We went there last year.
A couple of years ago. Pizza was good.
That was great. We had a good time. But anyway, if you want to have an absolute blast at obtaining some great modern and vintage cards, you got to check out JRI Cards. Our paisan, Charlie, the Iron Ripper Perino, along with Money Marco. Jeez. We might get him.
Money Marco just got married.
Oh, good for him. I was just going to say, these people might get investigated here. The Dollar Girls and the JRI gang give you a chance to participate in opening a graded, unopened, and sealed fresh wax or cello pack of your favorite sport or non-sport favorite. Let me breathe. It's easy. You buy in. Wait a minute. Charlie opens the pack and you get a packed fresh card. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, if you pull that special jewel, the guys at JRI Cards will even have it graded for you on the house. Featured in the LA Times, ESPN, and USA Radio, JRI is the hottest card pulling show on the internet. Charlie and his staff make it fun. It really does. Entertaining and enjoyable. With his collection of hats and sound effects. And don't forget that JRI donates a part of their proceeds to various charities. That's JRI Cards. Check out their exclusive breaks and events that everyone is talking about. They're always digging up cardboard treasures. For a great hobby experience, go to jricards.com. I just aged about 6 months.
I'll tell you what, his studio is really cool looking too. He's got a great studio. A lot of fun. All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break. Joe's in the house. We've got another segment hanging there, and we shall be right back. Rico, do me a favor, please. Can you come back on time, please?
Listen,
I'm begging you.
You want to say something?
Go ahead.
The coffee worked.
I don't want to know how.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't help.
Drop the mic and walk off stage.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
All right.
I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. Highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Are you a collector looking for that rare trading card or autographed ball or photo? If so, then PB Collectibles in Newport is the place for you. PB Collectibles has graded cards, raw cards, complete sets, and wax boxes of the stars of the future, today, and from the past. We also offer a large selection of both vintage and modern cards. So whether you're looking to add to your collection or sell it, visit us at PB Collectibles, 269 Spring Street in Newport, located across from St. Mary's Church. We are your neighborhood card shop and much more.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
We are back.
Go to Petroselli Marketing, would you? For Pete's sakes, he's got accounts all over: California, Texas, Oregon, Chicago, of course, in the East too. So the kid does a good job.
Yeah, can you? Fine. Can you do me a favor, please?
His father needs.
Can you do me a favor? I ordered 2 jerseys for
He's
Lou.
mailing them. He's mailing them. I just saw him last night. He's mailing them to you.
Okay, forgive him.
I see you wanted to zing me. I know.
Listen, I want to talk about our good friend Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. They've been insuring collectibles since the early 80s. The late Tom Finkelmeyer wrote the original sports memorabilia insurance policy when no one else in the industry was insuring sports collectibles. A lifelong collector of sports cards, Tom Sr. instilled the love of collecting in Tom Jr., the current president of Finkelmeyer Insurance Agency. Tom Finkelmeyer Jr., with 3 decades of insurance experience, has paired that expertise with 50 years of collecting. With a litany of professional designations, including counseling and risk management, Tom covers every aspect of your collectibles insurance needs. Unlike some of the companies that sell collectible insurance directly to the consumer online, Finkelmeyer Insurance is the only independent retail agent who specializes in sports memorabilia and collectibles nationwide, representing all major companies that sell collectibles insurance. Our good friend and hobby legend, John Tobby of JT Sports, as well as JP Cohen of Memory Lane, have been using Finkelmeyer Insurance for over 20 years. For more information, go to thefia.com, THEFIA.com. That's Finkelmeyer Insurance, where collecting is our passion. All right, it is time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to you by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com, and they have since changed their website. I know they have 2, and I screwed it up because I forgot to put the new one in here, but you know where to go to. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. Rico,
yes,
my
sir.
brother Al, Big Al, submitted this question, with the reason being he wants to put you on the spot.
Oh,
You ready?
I'm on the
Rico,
spot. Yes.
Fisk or bench? Question mark.
Yeah. Well, what's the question?
Fisk or bench? Question mark.
Well, they're both alive, and yeah. No, I understand. I'm just kidding. It's a tough one, but I love Fisk. You know that. I mean, he had really tough kid. But I've got to go with Bench. Bench had probably a little more power, hit more home runs, or close anyway. Both had good arms. They were leaders. I mean, Fisk was really a leader to the pitching staff. I mean, he would go out there and get on guys and make call. The guy, change the sign. He'd timeout. Wait a minute, this guy hits this. What if you make a mistake? Blah blah blah. Let's do it. And he had a lot of success that way. Bench, I don't know as much. I didn't play. I played against them, but I didn't play in the same team ever. So, but I gotta go with Bench. Bench is probably, a little better.
Well, I'm going to ask also one of the great Johnny Bench experts in the United States, Mr. Joseph Orlando. Joe,
yeah.
How much better was Bench than Fisk?
Oh, they're both both Hall of Famers, both outstanding. But I guess I'll take a page or a quote from Sparky Anderson before the start of the 1976 World Series against the New York Yankees when they were asking him to compare Thurman Munson to Johnny Bench. And Sparky said, I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, but he said something along the lines of, don't embarrass nobody by comparing him to Johnny Bench. So I just think he was elite on both sides. He was elite as a defender, 10 consecutive Gold Gloves. He was elite as an offensive player, at the catching position, which, this is an interesting statistic. So in the 1970s, when both Fisk and Bench were, in their primes, Johnny Bench led the decade as a catcher in RBI and finished second to Willie Stargell in home runs for the decade as a catcher. Wow. Think about that. Like that, I don't think, obviously we have this young man in Seattle who's making having quite a season this year, but it's so rare to see that type of offensive production from a perennial Gold Glover behind the plate. You just don't see that combination often.
Louis?
Yeah.
You just brought up a good point. I had another question, but we got Cal Raleigh chasing the American League record for homers that Aaron Judge made so much noise with a couple of years ago. I'm guessing in the industry, the pull is nowhere near what it was for Aaron Judge for Cal Raleigh.
Because of the market?
Because Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. Cal Raleigh is Cal Raleigh, and which is not to diminish Cal Raleigh, but he hasn't got the the gravitas that Aaron Judge has.
Joe?
New York.
Yeah, I think Rico's right too. I think the market has a lot to do with it, Lou.
Market has a lot to do with it. Also, I think Lou's alluding to the fact that Aaron Judge has been doing this for years. Where let's see what Cal does the next 3, 4, 5 seasons if he can.
How old is he? How old is this kid?
Offhand, I don't know.
I don't know.
Do we know how old he is?
I want to say towards the upper 20s.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, before we cut out Joe, I have a question. I'm going to use Robin Yount as an example. That group still, they don't seem to be getting much love. That Hall of Fame group from that time period. Is that going to change?
I would say that I would disagree slightly in that I do think we're seeing an uptick because we talked about the generational cycle earlier. Look, that's my era. Okay, guys, the stars of the 70s and 80s, that's when I grew up. So guys that are around my age who are now around 50 that maybe have a little bit more disposable income, their nostalgia are the stars of those eras. I would say that the major stars have really taken off. The Nolan Ryans,
right?
George Bretts, Johnny Bench to some degree. But I think in every era, there are guys that are Hall of Famers, like you mentioned, Robin Yount. I mean, that's right in my sweet spot. My favorite set was 75 Tops. That's where his rookie card was, and 2-time MVP, 3,000 hits. I mean, a really good player. But the difference is, and Lou was kind of alluding to it a little bit with a guy like Judge, there's a difference between guys that accumulate great numbers over a career, but were never really considered the best player or amongst the best players in the game at any given time, versus the guys that had that electric run, those electric primes where they were clearly, like, again, maybe the best or at least one of the 2 or 3 very best players in the game. So those are different types of
Brett
courses.
is one of them. Brett got a lot of attention.
But like when you played, Rico, I think, Joe, you're talking about guys like when Rico played, guys like Ron Santo, for instance, Hall of Famer, great ball player, but a level or two below some of the great ones from that period.
I think this is my Hall of Fame argument all over, Joe, where it's like, tell me a Robin Yount story. And I don't want to diminish Robin Yount as a player, but you can tell an Aaron Judge story. This is why I think Kurt Schilling should be in the Hall of Fame. There's 20 Kurt Schilling stories you could tell. And Jeter, you can tell a story. If Jeter played in Milwaukee, for example, his entire career, I don't want to diminish Derek Jeter, but he wouldn't have been the same type of player.
You're right. You're
Milwaukee,
100%
he
right.
was the Yankees.
Wouldn't have got that same. There's no doubt. New York is.
So Rico, what would have happened? Rico, what would have happened to you if you played in Seattle?
I probably would have had a couple of home runs in my career.
Right?
Yeah. No, but Brett was great. Yount came up, and right away he wasn't flashy. A little skinny. You should have seen him. Skinny kid.
You played against him, right? For 1 year?
Yeah, 2 years.
1 year. 2 years.
75 years. Yeah, I mean, guys like Molitor. Look at Molitor. Molitor's, well, he was a terrific hitter. But, you don't hear that much about him.
Good point.
Where guys like, Rico said, used a great word there, flash. So, Ricky Henderson on the other side of it, Ricky Henderson material has become very, very hot.
Unbelievable.
From hard to bats because he had both. He had the career statistics, but he had the flash. He had that something extra that you wanted to watch him play. He could take over a game. He could run. He could hit home run.
Great.
Real quickly, when we were at Cooperstown 1 year, I don't know if it was for the Cracker Jack book. It was Ellen and I were. This is when we were signing on the sidewalk down the street. Lou, you came 1 year with us. I remember. Yeah. I think it was the next year. For some reason, Ricky Henderson walked up and grabbed the book, started thumbing through it, and bought it. And I always hated Ricky Henderson. I thought he was arrogant. I thought he was what Boston fans just didn't like. He spent about 20 minutes with us. And I said to her, he was one of the nicest ball players I've ever met in my life. He was cordial. He was funny, just a totally different personality than what I expected.
Off the field, Tom, off the field and on the field, two different
things. You're absolutely
hockey,
right.
Terry O'Reilly, he was
Good point.
tough as anything. On the field, he was a gentleman, soft-spoken.
Good point. Hey, listen, before we break up, Joe, you've got an auction going. You want to tell us a few things about
time
the auction?
Yeah, we've got a showcase auction that ends this weekend coming up. We've got another very big catalog event that ends at the end of October. So that'll be starting up here in about a week. Headlined by a Babe Ruth Baltimore Orioles minor league. Some people refer to it as a rookie card, but that will have an estimate, I believe, of around $7 million, if I recall correctly. And so that's going to be a very big event. And then we have our last big event of the year in mid-December. It's another major multi-million-dollar catalog auction. So we've got a lot of activity this fall.
How do you keep up with it, Joe? How the hell do you guys keep up with it? It's just
they're talented. That's what they are.
I understand it, Rico, but it's just the quality of what you guys display and have it's just off the charts, man. It's all museum quality stuff.
Well, I really appreciate the kind words. I will say that for collectors out there, we've got a lot in store for people before the end of the year. So keep your eyes peeled as these auctions open. But we've got some really interesting material coming out.
All right, listen,
Tom, I was thinking just for a second. If I was on another team, I think I would have stolen more bases. The opportunity to steal because I had blinding speed. Ricky here and I used to race together.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. And by the way, Rico, before we leave,
I'm sorry.
We thanks to you moving to Florida on our side this year, Lou is going to have much less stress in his life. Reason being is because for 3 months, I will be pressing the buttons on the computer with the cameras. All you have to do is put the headsets on, and I'll do everything else.
Well, that's good news for me too. But I want to try the other computer. Maybe this, that's cute. Maybe it's the computer.
Absolutely, it's not the guy; it's the computer.
No, it's 25 years old. The computer.
All right,
the things are worn off. Joe, it's great seeing you, man. You look great.
Guys, no, thank you.
And by the way, just a little programming note. In about another 3 or 4 weeks, we're going to bring Joe back. We're going to bring in our boxing friend and expert, Al Valenti. We're going to do a boxing show. We're going to have some fun.
Great. All right.
With that being said, Louis, thank you so much. Joe, say hi to all the guys back at the ranch. Rico, you did pretty good today, and I'm glad the coffee worked. I am really glad.
Me too. Oh, boy. I'll tell you. Lou, take care, huh? Great job as usual.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. With that being said, guys, happy collecting.
See you guys.
Take care.